Hello again. I wanted to talk today about the verb gustar. My students told me that it is one of the most difficult and challenging verbs in Spanish to learn. And the reason is there is no direct translation if you try to use English rough equivalent to like. Because to like is not really gustar. And some people do think that because the meaning is similar, and therefore they try to use it and they get up with the wrong translations. So the secret is that in Spanish there is no verb to like, and the verb gustar should be translated as to please. Note that when you translate it as to please, the meaning is the same, but the relationship between the subject and the object is different. What do I mean by that? If you say I like, you like, she likes, then you use it with the subject. I like, you like, she likes, and so forth. If you use to please, it really means I please, you please, he, she, it pleases, we please, you, plural, please, and they please. So note that the relationship will be different. So let's take a look at it. Let's note that in Spanish the apples that we're going to use for our sentence is manzanas. Note that it is not the Z but the S in Latin America, or th as in Spain. So your choice, manzanas or manzanas. Both are correct. Alright, so if you see in English a sentence, I like it, the subject that answers to the question who or what is I, and therefore it is the subject. In Spanish, note that it is pleasing to me, and to me doesn't answer to the same question. It's not who, it is to whom. That is the fundamental difference, so please remember that. Next step, if you want to translate a sentence, I like apples. Note, apples are plural. So in order to correctly translate it into Spanish, you have to rewrite the sentence into the awkward but correct way. Apples are pleasing to me. Awkward? Yes, but the meaning is the same. The good thing, it gives you the correct relationship between the subject and the object. Note that I, as in sentence number 1, does not equal to me, because I is the subject answering to the question who, and then to me answers to the question to whom, and therefore it is the indirect object. Subject and indirect object. Next step, I like apples. We're still translating the same sentence. We wrote apples are pleasing to me. Subjects answer to the question who or what. Indirect object pronoun answers to the question to whom, to what. So you have here the pronouns, subject pronouns, indirect object pronouns. I like apples, and therefore you need to choose the subject yo. But when you translate the sentence, you have to rewrite it first. You rewrite it, apples are pleasing to me, and therefore you have to choose the indirect object pronoun me, and that's what you have. That's what you're going to use for your translation. Next step, I like apples. I is the subject. We already established that. Apples are pleasing to me. Indirect object. It is to me, or me in Spanish. Then the conjugation of the verb gustar. Note that it has a normal conjugation, except it means not I like, you like, she likes, but it means I please, you please, he or she or it pleases, so forth. So note that in Spanish, these two forms are used most of the time, and the other forms do exist, sometimes used, but they're not nearly as common. So you will need that. This is for saying that singular things please you, and then for something plural, then you will use gustan, because it is they. Really, you're saying it pleases me or they please me. Okay, las manzanas me gustan will be the rewriting. The same thing, translated sentence. The apples are pleasing to me. Now you wrote it incorrect but awkward Spanish form. Las manzanas me gustan. It acquires the article because general concept of the apples will take the definite article in Spanish. So it will be las manzanas me gustan, the apples please me. Unfortunately, it is not the common Spanish word order, so if you want it to be correct and not awkward, you rewrite it, and you rewrite it this way. Me, which is the indirect object pronoun, goes first. Gustan, which is the verb in plural because manzanas refers to the plural. Then las is the definite article saying that you like apples in general. So the correct word order would be me gustan las manzanas, or manzanas if you are trying to imitate Spanish pronunciation. So note what we learned here, that the verb like doesn't exist in Spanish. You have to use please. That's why it has to be slightly awkward. So you have a sentence, I like apples. Step number 1, apples are pleasing to me. You got the right relationship between the subject and the object. Step number 3, las manzanas me gustan las manzanas, the correct word order. So let's do it one more time, a little cleaner. So you want to translate the sentence, I like apples. You rewrite it. Apples are pleasing to me. Then you translate it, las manzanas me gustan. And then finally you make it into the correct word order, and it will be me gustan las manzanas. So if you do it in 4 steps instead of translating it right away, your chances of getting the sentence right increase significantly. Thank you for your attention. So in order to successfully conjugate the verb gustar, you need the following things. You need to remember the indirect object pronouns, and you need the word order. You need that if you have conjugated verb, it means changed according to the subject, you will need the indirect object pronoun preceding it, as you see right here. Okay? All right, thank you.